Good morning, children. So now today I explain you the second experiment where we will learn the importance of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis process. So in my previous video I have explained you the importance of chlorophyll, why chlorophyll is important for photosynthesis process. So today we will learn the importance of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis process. Okay, so for this process we will require two potted plants. Okay. Now see here, I have drawn here two potted plants. So we have to select two potted plants of the same height. Okay, and of the same variety. You select two potted plant of the same height and of the same variety. And same way what we have done in the previous experiment. What is the first step? What did you do? So here, see here we have to select two potted plants. Okay, so these two potted plants, the first step what was it? To keep it in a dark room for 3 to 4 days. Okay, so what is the purpose of keeping it in dark room? So that, what is the purpose? That is to de-starch it. So I have already explained you, de-starch it means in those 3-4 days the plant cannot prepare its food. Okay, so it will use all the stored food in the plant. And what is the stored food in the plant? That is the starch. So that process is called de-starching. Means we have to completely finish the stored food in the potted plant. Okay, so after that is, and how it is done? By keeping in dark room for 3 to 4 days. And after that, now these two selected plant, after 3-4 days, again we have to remove from the dark room and keep it in the sunlight. Okay, and for few hours. Same thing what you did in the previous experiment. That is for 5 to 6 hours we have to keep these two potted plant in the sunlight. But before we keep it in the sunlight, we have to keep this potted plant on a tray. So you can see. So here these two potted plant are being kept on a tray. Okay, this is a tray. So this is a tray, and these two potted are kept on a tray. And then on this tray you can see both of these potted plant is covered by a glass bell jar. Okay, this is a glass bell jar. Okay. Okay. So this is a glass bell jar here. Okay, glass bell jar made up of glass material. So transparent. Okay. So this is how we have to place this potted plant or cover the potted plant with this glass bell jar. And then at the bottom we have to completely make it airtight or seal it completely airtight with the help of Vaseline base. So we'll put a Vaseline base to it. You know what Vaseline which we apply, okay? Vaseline, thick color fluid. So with that help of Vaseline we can seal this base so that no air can enter inside. So that is the main purpose of sealing it with the Vaseline. And before we seal it, you can see there is one more material been kept in the potted A. So we'll name this plants. This plant we'll call it as potted plant A, and this plant we'll call it as a potted plant B. Okay, we'll label it. And in the potted plant A, before sealing it, there is one more small dish been kept. Okay, a small watch glass or a dish has been kept in which one chemical has been taken. And what is that chemical? KOH. KOH means potassium hydroxide. Okay, potassium hydroxide. So the chemical is taken, potassium hydroxide. And why this chemical is taken? Because potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. So what does it absorb here? Carbon dioxide. Okay, easily it can absorb carbon dioxide. So here we have taken potassium hydroxide. And whereas in the potted plant B, there is no such chemical is been taken. Okay, keep it in mind here. In potted plant B, we have not taken any potassium hydroxide. Only in one potted plant we have kept in the dish. Okay, KOH we have taken here in this dish. whereas in potted plant we have not taken it. Okay, and then after putting this arrangement in this manner, we have to keep this potted plant in the sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. For what process? So that it can carry out the photosynthesis. And after 5 to 6 hours, we have to again select one leaf from both of these potted plant. Okay, so from potted plant A, select one leaf, and from potted plant B, we have to select one leaf. Select one leaf means we have to pluck that leaf. And the same way we have to carry out the same experiment what we have done in the previous experiment. Same thing. What is the first step we have to do it? We will boil both the leaves in the water first. Okay, so what you have to do with both the leaves? We have to boil it in the water. And what is the main purpose of boiling in water? So that the cells of the leaf get killed. And after boiling in water, we have to remove those two leaves and put in which chemical now? That is ethyl alcohol. So we have to take another beaker containing ethyl alcohol, and both the leaves have to be indirectly boiled in ethyl alcohol, which we have kept. So this beaker we have kept in a water tub, and indirectly it is been heated. And what is the purpose of heating it in ethyl alcohol? So that all the chlorophyll pigments get removed. Okay, so this is what the second step is, to boil the leaf in ethyl alcohol indirectly in the water tub. And after the leaves have become pale, then what is the third step? We have to wash it in cold water. And what is the last step after washing cold water? That is the starch test. That is, we have to add what? We have to add the iodine solution, dilute iodine solution drops on these leaves. So the two leaves which are being tested here. Okay, so here you can see that is the leaf from potted plant A and the leaf from potted plant B. So when you carry out the starch test for both these leaves, okay, so what you see is that the leaf from potted plant A remain unchanged. There is no change in the color, whereas the leaf from potted plant B has turned bluish black in color for iodine test. Okay, sorry, that is starch test. Okay, that is for the starch. It has turned bluish black in color, whereas the leaf from the potted plant A remain unchanged. What is the reason? Can you guess the reason here? See here, what we have taken here is KOH, potassium hydroxide, and I told you potassium hydroxide, what does it absorbs? The carbon dioxide. So in this bell jar, when we have covered the base with Vaseline, there was no chance for any further air to enter, and whatever amount of air was present in that bell jar, so from that whatever amount of carbon dioxide present, all that carbon dioxide was absorbed by this KOH. So there was no carbon dioxide present inside this bell jar. And when we kept it in sunlight, this plant, okay, it was trapping the sunlight, but because of no carbon dioxide, it couldn't carry out the photosynthesis process completely. It couldn't do the photosynthesis process, and because of that, the leaves couldn't prepare the food. What is the food here? Carbohydrates, glucose, the starch. And when we added the iodine solution, there was no change. Whereas similarly, in the potted plant B, there was no KOH being kept here. We didn't took any KOH here. So there was, as this whole arrangement was sealed here also, but the amount of air which was there, it had some amount of carbon dioxide, and because of that carbon dioxide which was present, the leaves were carrying out the photosynthesis process. And as the photosynthesis process was carried out in the potted plant B, the test of starch was positive. Means the whole leaf turned bluish black in color when we added the iodine solution to it. So from this experiment, we can conclude that without carbon dioxide, photosynthesis cannot be carried out. So very clearly it explains that carbon dioxide is very, very important to carry out the photosynthesis process. So children, I hope you understood today's experiment. So we have studied about 2 experiments. In my first experiment, I have explained you the importance of chlorophyll in the photosynthesis process, and the second experiment we have seen the importance of carbon dioxide in photosynthesis. And later in my next video I'll explain you the importance of sunlight in photosynthesis. So goodbye for now, and learn this experiment at home. I hope you are going through all my videos and learning your answers. So all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.